إن شاء الله الآن راح نبدأ المعمل. ما شاء الله في عدد كثير موجودين من بكير، فبس خليني أعمل شير سكرين. بسؤال اللي ياخذون مواد ثانية بالمعمل، هل تستخدموا برنامج معين حق المعمل للتواصل ولا لا؟ هل في أحد منكم ياخذ مواد ثانية فيها معمل تستخدموا برنامج ثانية، يعني برامج خاصة بحيث أنكم أنتم تكتبوا والتيتشر ممكن يشوف إيش أنتم تعملوا؟ تسمعوني؟ طيب يعطوكم الكنترول وقت اللكتشر، بس يعني العدد كبير، يعني كلكم تعملوها بنفس الوقت. أسيل تقول تستخدموا الكنترول، يعني كلكم تجاوبوا بنفس الوقت ولا لا؟ طيب تطبقوا وترسلوها. طيب وخلال المعمل إيش تعملوا؟ موجودة تسمعوني؟ اللي يسألوا موجودة ولا لا، الصوت ما ينسمع؟ طيب بس خليني أتأكد من الإعدادات، بس لحظة. طيب اليوم راح نحل الكويستشن اللي حق المعمل الأول. أنا مش عارفة إذا أنتم عندكم أكسس على الإكسرسايز ولا لا. هو انعمل لها أبديت إلى الإكسرسايز. بعض الطلاب لسه عندهم الإكسرسايز اللي حق الفصل اللي طاف. فالإكسرسايز الجديد موجود عندكم بالموقع، موجود فيه 6 أسئلة. راح نحل اليوم فقط سؤالين، لأن باقي الأسئلة راح تكون متعلقة بالجزء اللي لسه ما أخذناه، إن شاء الله راح ناخذه الأسبوع الجاي. طيب أنا راح أحاول أعمل طريقة معينة، وبعد كذا أنتم قولوا لي إذا كانت تناسبكم ولا لا في الشرح. يعني اليوم راح نحل سؤالين بس، هم السؤالين تقريبا كأنهم سؤال واحد، يعني متعلقين ببعض. فخلينا نبدأ التاسك. أنا I'll try. لا اللاب مش مسجل، راح أعمل له تسجيل بس هو مش مفروض إنه هو ينزل بالLMS. خليني أعمل ريكوردينج. اللي ينزل بالLMS فقط المحاضرة وليس اللاب. طيب خلينا نبدأ بالسؤال الأول. السؤال الأول يقول write a Java program to compute the grade of students. The program should read 3 scores, ال TMA وال MT والfinal exam score. calculate the total score. راح تكون المجموع اللي حق ال TMA وال MT والفاينل. وبعد كذا you need to compute and find the grade. So let's just try to analyze it and answer it one by one, like step by step, I mean. Unfortunately, my laptop's just crashed. So let me see, which is I don't have a NetBeans. So I'm going to use the GDB. راح استخدم ال GDB online. ونحاول نعمل السؤال مع بعض. Great. Sorry again. Is there is anyone who's speaking only English in the class? Okay. So we will try to do examples here, explain it here, but then we will write it one by one on the GDB. So يطلب السؤال يقول لك احنا نحتاج ان ندخل 3 متغيرات. يعني قبل ما نبدا البرنامج المفروض ان احنا نتعرف على ايش المتطلبات للسؤال على اساس ان نقدر نحله بطريقه صح. فايش المتطلبات؟ يقول لك انت راح تاخذي العلامات اللي حق الطلاب. كم علامه؟ راح تاخذي 3 علامات. راح نسال نفسنا ايش النوع اللي راح المفروض ان احنا نعرف فيه المتغير. على اساس ان احنا نعرف المتغيرات. هل المفروض الان انت عندك درجات الميد تيرم التي ام اي والام تي والفاينل. It's supposed to be integer or double. Okay, Dana. So do we suppose to do the variables TMA والMT والfinal exam integer or double? Great. So we need to do it double. So first, oh, sorry about this. So we need a double eraser here. So we need all these variable. I cannot write it down. Again, guys, sorry, I'm just having trouble with it. Okay, so we need a double for the 3 variables. Good. So this is the first. Then, is there any another? Yes, we will talk about import and those stuff. But first, we need to know how many variables we need to initialize or declare at the beginning. So we have a declare, we have initialized, if you remember from the lecture. So you have the TMA and the MT. I'll just write the first letter faster. And then we have the final. Do we need another variables to define? Yes, we need to define the total. So after calculated, we need the total. And what else we need? Sorry about the handwriting. And we also need the grade because they are not supposed, they didn't ask you to return the grade. They ask you to, the total number as a number. They ask you to return it as an A grade. I didn't go over if statements during the class, so I'll try to explain it fast here, but we will talk about it on the next lecture in details during the class. So you're going to calculate, for example, if the student gets 20 on the TMA and then maybe 30. So this is 50 already, and then another 30. So the total will be 80. So if it's less than 80, no, we are here. If it's less than 80 or equal to, so it's we get it to be in this line because it's equal to 80. So it's going to be B. So we need first to initialize and define the variables. Then we need to calculate the total. Then we need based on the total decide which grade, what's the letter at the end. Good? So So let's start coding. I'm going to write it down, but with your help, absolutely. I'm using the GDB. It's only Lujane has problem with the sound. Okay, let's try to use الصوت الآن أفضل ولا لا؟ الصوت الآن أفضل ولا لا؟ Okay, good. So let's go ahead so we don't waste time, guys. Just let me see if there is anyone. Can you hear me and see the screen? Okay, can you hear me and see the screen, guys? Good. So let's go. So what I'm using here, GDB is an online editor. So if you have a problem like what I have now, IDE for any reason, you can use an online editor and you don't need to install anything. And it's worked for most of the language. This is not the only website. There is a lots of things look like it. So I'm going to choose from language here on the top. I'm going to use Java. And then we will start writing our code. So first, what we need to do, you just tell me we need to define the variables, right? So it's supposed to be double. And we need to define TMA, midterm, and the final. It's a keyword, so I'll keep it 1. And then we need total to calculate it. One more thing, guys, here, if you are going to do any sum or average, try always to initialize the sum or total with a 0. So it doesn't get anything from the memory garbage and you get incorrect results. So it's a good idea always to initialize sum or average with a 0. So then what we need to do, we need to read the information from the user. What are we going to use? Someone has just said it before. We need to use scanner. And it says case sensitive, so it has to be small. Scanner. We call it scanner. And then what I'm supposed to say here? New. Good. And then a new scanner. What am I supposed to have inside it? Good. System M. That's M. This is the first line. So this is going to allow you to read information from the user, right? The first information we're going to get is from the user. To go system dot out dot print line, and here you need to ask whoever to enter a TMA mark. Equal to. What I need, this is gonna to just ask the user to enter the score, but then I need to save whatever he or she writes it down into, yes, we need to do the import, right? You're right. So if I just need to finish this and I'll tell you about the import. Guys, okay, good. So after you ask a user to enter the grade, you need to save information. So TMA equal to what? Scanner. That's what? Good, next link. Good. Next line, next int. It's a good idea always. It's a good idea always to write just couples of lines and just run it to make sure you have the right things. So what I have wrong here in line 13, scanner, someone tell me what I, yes, new. Good. What else? Can you someone tell me what I forget here? From the debugger, it is a good idea to understand the debugger. They said scanner here and then something. So what I'm forgetting here? Exactly, semicolon. So look at now. I still have problem here. Cannot find it. Why? Exactly, guys, because we need to put import. And I left it at the until the end, so you figure it out by yourself. Import Java dot all. Yeah. So here you go. And this is always okay. We'll do it double, Ruwaida. Because just at the beginning, okay, I supposed to stop here. Do you get the connection again? Hello. Let me just share it. Yeah, we're just supposed to keep it as it is for next, for ends. Good. Then we need to read the rest of the variables similar in the same way. Now, okay, Ruwaida, I'll check it out with you, and I'll back to you about it. Okay. So I already write down the program here. So just to save the time instead of writing all of them one by one, just do the rest of the variables here. So after reading TMA, we get to read the midterm. And we get to read as well the final. One of the good habits to have is have it online, all of them, okay? After you finish getting the scanner, Okay, because I have here. Whenever the scanner, whenever you open it, you're supposed to close it at the end. Anyone remember what we're supposed to write to close it? The scanner? Scanner dot what? Dot close. In this case, we get to read all the information. We need to calculate total. So how can we calculate the total? So total equal to TMA plus midterm plus final. So this is going to give you total. But this is not what they're asking us to do. We can print this sentence. System. What I'm supposed to put inside to print total. So total. Is this enough or what I'm supposing to do? To print total plus what? Plus total, good. And then semicolon, absolutely. So this is just going to print total. But what they ask us to do, if you remember in the question, they ask you to transfer the number, the total that you are going to get into a grade, into a letter. So in this case, we're supposed to use the if statement. So we need to say if the total score is bigger than or equal to 90, I use it here. If one is going to be on which one? It's going to be based on yes, we're going to choose the F. F total, yes. Good. So if total bigger than or equal to 90, what I'm going to get something, and you need to tell me that I'm doing something wrong. The grade equal to A. So what's wrong here? No, it's not the pointer. We don't need them because I just have one sentence, so I'm fine. But something wrong. Not the indication. Exactly, Muhammad. Declare a variable grade is going to be an issue. So we have to go here. Which type is going to be the grade? String, char, integer, double. I'll leave it until you tell me. With the type of the grade? No, it's not. One character. Yes, exactly. So we have sharp because it's only one letter. Those who saying indication is but this is not going to effective here. But indication is for you to have it clear. So then what we have, we need else if. So if it's not bigger than 90, then else how we need two conditions. Two conditions. So first, the first condition is we having, okay. Total. And what else? What the second condition? It's not supposed to be less than, it's supposed to be bigger than 80. I think there is a problem on the question. And then the second condition, you have a total and 90. What I'm supposed to put between those? The first condition is the total is gonna to be less than 80 and 90, sorry. Exactly. And not or that means if any of those conditions gonna to be right, it's gonna to print the speed. Okay, and then else if, I'll do the rest as fast as possible so we don't waste the time. Then we will do the second one is else if as well. But in this time, it's going to be bigger than, what do we have in the question? 70 and 80 is going to be C. Okay, 70 and 80. Then we have 60. We have 60 and 70, and then less than 60, the last one. So else if yes, it's F, right. And the last one is supposed to be else or F or what? I'm supposing to write down here at the end. else. So I don't need to write any condition in the last one. The last one, that's mean the first one wasn't true, the second one wasn't true, so that's mean thank you, Yazid. So the last one, you don't need to write any condition. And it's going to be F. Oh, we having D right at the end. And then we have F here. Good. So this is the end of if and else statements. You can use a switch, absolutely. Between if and the switch, you can use them. It's depending on the situation and what you like. So then we put system, that's out, that print, say, and then put plus and put the grade. And finally, we need a semicolon. So this is same result. You write if twice. I didn't write if twice. The problem that I did here, can anyone figure it out? And this is a common mistake. That's because some of the languages are using double quotes. However, Java use only one single quote for chart. So I'm using double as some other language. So I'm supposed to use only single quotes. Okay, good. So I'll enter some result here. This is a good student. So let's see. Let's get A. You see the result? So we enter TM, the midterm, and the final, and we get the result. Good? So let's move to the second part. To write the methods. Okay. So then the second part is ask you. Sure, Ruwaida, after the class, because we don't have so much time. So just email me, okay, Ruwaida? So writing method, and instead of just writing the code in sequence after each other, they ask you to write a method that's will take the 3 scores together from one student and return the grade of the student according to the result. So it's exactly the first question, but in this time they ask you to use a method instead of just put it in sequence. So let's use our code. We are not going to write it from scratch, okay? If you would like to write a method, we'll go out after main. And then we need to write a method. So the method is going to start with what? Public. And what is supposed to return? They ask us to return the grade. So it's going to return, okay? and let's call it S grade. So what's the argument? How many arguments we will have? What we going to have? No, it's not going to be, but it's not going to be string. It's just a char. So we're going to just return the letter A, B, Z, and what is going to be char. Then we have to have a double for TMA. You're right, guys. We need 3 arguments. And double for a midterm. And another double for the final. Sorry, you can email me later. I already sent an email with all the link. If you didn't receive the email, just email me again, okay? Okay. How it's going to the head of the methods is look like this. You have the name, you have the type of return, the name of the method, and then the arguments, the type of each argument, and the name of the argument. What we need to do then, we need to open the practice so we can write down on it. So what we need inside it, things that we already implement. So the total, this lines, we don't need it anymore here. We just get to move the work that we did before on the code into the methods. Because we get to move the calculation, the whole calculation inside. What else? We need to move the total. So you already get to read from here, you get to send, okay, sorry, we gonna, it's my bad. We need them back because you're going to read them from here and you save them. So you don't need to initialize them. What you need inside the method is the total. The total is the only one is that you need it inside the method, but not inside the main. So we need double total to do the calculation. What else we need to do? Then we need to move the calculation because the calculation is supposed to be done inside the method. What else going to be done inside the methods? They didn't ask us to print it on the main. They asked us to return the grade. So then it's going to do all the grade stuff, all the calculation we do was here. We're going to move it inside the methods. So you're going to already receive the TMA will midterm will final. And then you will do some calculation to calculate the total. You're going to print the total here. And you get to start examine the total to figure it out what the grade is. Here, instead of printing the grade, we're not going to print the grade inside the method. We're going to print the grade inside the main. But we don't have the grade anymore. We don't have the grade here anymore calculated inside the main. Are you with me, guys? So we don't have the grade calculated inside the main. So we need we need to call a method. How we can call a method? We write the method name. So here's the method name. It's grade. Then you need argument to the method. we have 3 arguments. So we're supposed to send the same number of arguments here. We call a method. So here we create a method with the header. Here we call methods. We need to send the 3 arguments, which is a TMA and the final. This is gonna to do something. It's gonna to return whatever return here. We haven't tried the return yet. So we need to return the grade, the calculated grade. So what I'm supposed to write in here, guys, at the end of the method, what we supposed to write to return the grade. So it's gonna to print the grade here. Good, Raida. Return the grade. Good. Anything's wrong, or should I run it now? Okay, so let's just try run it. Supposed to give the same answer, but here we're using methods. Yes, I ran through it, but we still figured out there's mistake. You're gonna tell me, guys, what this mistakes mean. It's a really habit to analyze it. Good, the grade, because I declare it where? It's local. It can be seen only in this range, okay? We need to move it here, okay? So the grade cannot be seen by the method because it was only in this location. So I'll move it here. Okay, so it's worked. This is not a students like the previous one. So let's get D. Okay. We have 8 more minutes. The last part of the question. This part asks us just to write the program to read it and use the if statement. The second one, we have to use a method. And the third part, they ask us to write a Java program to compute the grade of many students. The program should read the number of students, then for each student, read 3 scores. Call the method in a part A and print the result. So they ask us to use whatever we do, but in this time, instead of doing it only for 1 student, they ask us to do it for many students. So if we would like to do it for many students, what are we going to use? Thank you, Ruwaida. Yes, we're going to use a loop, either for or another type of loop. So let's do the loop. Where should I start the loop? Before what? So I have the method. I'm not supposed to change it. I'll start the loop. Which part's supposed to be looped? I mean, repeated over and over. In the main, exactly. And I need to repeat what I need to repeat. I need to repeat this part. I need to repeat reading. Okay, Ahmed. I don't know, for some reason I see it connected maybe with your second name. Okay, so we need to add it from here. So this whole part, the reading TMA and midterm and final, is supposed to be read several times, okay? So let's do this. How can I write? I need someone to write the sentence for me, the for sentence. For what? The header of the for, the loop. 4, then what? Yes, so it's going to stop when it's reached the total number of students. That means we need to decide integer students and our number of students. Okay, number of students equal to, let's say, for example, 3. Okay, so we have a number of students here. So 4 is going to be what? 4 started good. And I equals to 1, or you can start at 0, and then it's depending where you're going to stop based on what you initialize it on. Then it's comma or semicolon after this. We have 3 arguments. First, we initialize it, then we tell it when it's supposed to stop, and at the end, it is going to give how much is going to increase every time. Yes, semicolon. Then it's gonna, when it's gonna to stop, when it's gonna to be I less than 3, 4, 5. Yes, you said the I plus plus. I need you to tell me, is the I supposed to be here? The I is supposed to be less than what? 3. I'm supposed to include all these information inside. So this is going to repeat 3 times. It is going to read the TMA, inter, midterm, and so on. But should I enter this sentence inside the loop or not? The sentence of printing the grade is supposed to be inside the loop or outside? You're right. That's a great point. We already decide what's the number here. So we're supposed to write a num_s, number of students, instead of putting the 3. Or we can just don't use this and put the 3 here. So either is right. But it's a good point, Rua. Thank you. Okay. Those who saying inside is correct. It's not going to be outside. If you put it outside, it's going to calculate it only for the last student. Whenever it's exit, but you need it for every student. So it is supposed to be inside the loop. Okay, Asil, if you have any specific question, I know it's even for me, it's hard to explain a lab online. I know it's not going to be easy with you guys. I don't know if you prefer another way to do it. You can email me. We can open a discussion how you would like to do a lab. I thought about it a lot, like the real lab was more easier than do it online. Sorry if you have any questions. You can ask now. You can send me. Yes, Abdul, that's whoever you're having a suggestion. Just leave the suggestion after finishing this point. We're almost done, and it's just 2 minutes. So let's finish this. Let's people who would like to leave, and then we will have a discussion idea. Okay, guys. So here we already moving the print. So the whole part is going to happen 3 times here. So let's run it and see the result. Yes, sure, you can send this by email. This is right, but I think here we need to have some clarification. So at the beginning, I supposed to stop so I can write it down. We're supposed to tell something here that this is the first student, second student, whatever. So let's do system. That's out. Does it print? Oh, sorry. Plus li. So we know the order of the students whenever we run it out. So student's supposed to be started with 1, so you write the score for the first students, enter all the grades. You will get the total, you will get the grade, and then you go ahead and do the rest of them. By here, we're done with this, the first and second question. If you have any questions, so it's already 5. If you have any question, you can ask me or you can email me. And I'm more than happy to hear your suggestion about the way of running lab that you feel it's more efficient than doing it in this way, guys. Try to take a look to that question, the rest of the question. We will try to cover the part we didn't do last time, and which is simple exercise. Unfortunately, the BCC won't allow us to send any code to you guys. You can take a look. I'll open the screen again to take a look to the code if you would like to. But I cannot send the code. So this is the first part. So by their own. So what do you mean about Muhammad Rumble and at the same time to print it out? I don't get your question, sorry. Yes, you can leave. Unfortunately, I cannot send the code. Me myself don't have all the meeting yet, Muhammad. I'm waiting for the PCC to send it, and I don't have access to the system yet. The lecture is already system on the LMS, but the lab is not going to go there. It's only the Okay, Asil. There's a website called W. It is. Let me see. Unfortunately, this is not my BC, but just give me a second. New 3 school. And there is another 2. You learn. So okay. So this one, I feel like it's kind of clear information and time for the society forces to improve themselves. No, Raf, you don't have to send the code for me. You don't have to send it to me, sorry. So I highly recommend you guys to take a look to this website. I find it clear for some students depending on the topic. So if you feel you're on the left, you go Java, everything. Then after that, so you can write some example and try yourself and see the result. So yes, it's a good resource to web. And it has, yes, resources not only for Java, it has for many other languages. Right, wait. Ahmed. Yes, you can do it. If you would like to do the same exercise I did, you can do it. And if you have any question, you can email me. Unfortunately, we just have 1 hour, and I feel it's like it's already flies. So by email. Sometimes I cannot. So yes, if anyone would like me to check the code, you can just write it down and email it to me, and I'll check it out. If you send email, don't reply specifically on the middle of the. You're welcome all. Thank you, Sin. Okay, Sarah, I'll send it to you now. Just let me. Thank you, Yazid.